that's what we do.
You said Impeach Obama. www.LaRouchePack.com. That's where you want to be at. This is your boy Philly Poor Boy coming to you live, Eotp Street Side Interviews, and I'm out here in Woodstock today doing my traveling, trying to find out what's going on, and I bumped into a couple people. We're going to roll that video right now. What are you doing out here today? I see a lot of the Impeach Obama, so tell us more about that.
I'm with the LaROUCHE Political Action Committee, and what we're doing is we're going to cities all over the United States discussing this tremendous situation with the Benghazi crisis, the economic breakdown, and how we've got a president who is probably the most impeachable president we've ever had in history, and we've got to actually activate the Constitution the way it was originally set up. So one of the things we're doing is we're trying to be out in the public where people can see that there's a fight. And the fight is what the people ought to be doing for the principles of the Constitution, the principles embedded in the idea that man is created in the image of God. We have a creative spark, and we ought to have an economy that lifts up the cognitive powers of the people and not beat them down with low wages and in a situation where they can't raise a family to a higher standard.
Right.
So what we've got now is we're trying to show people that there's an organized effort in this country run by some very rich people in Wall Street and in particularly old British Empire crowd, including the Queen. These are families that absolutely do not care about the average people. They've got a policy to reduce the population of the world.
Right.
That policy is to constrict the industrial base of the nation, smaller and smaller, so it won't support people properly. And then we're also seeing rock, drug, sex, counterculture moving in to dumb down people so they can't access their creative potential. So one of the things that we're focused on is to show people, if I might use a graph, this curve represents what's happening. Over the last 30 years, we've actually shifted our investments into speculation to where now we're printing lots of money, but the physical economy is collapsing. And that's our jobs. That's what we need to reproduce our next generation. What we want to do is we want to get out of that and shift back into a policy where we're actually increasing the physical production faster than we're increasing the money. That means your money becomes more valuable. So purchasing more, but it's got to be physical so that we give the young people a future as well as take care of grandpa and grandma.
Right.
So we build this nation that we're in, and we need jobs where people can actually produce things. And what we see with all the crazy stuff in the media, we see magazines killing granny, cutting healthcare, Social Security, Wall Street's too greedy. We're seeing all this propaganda that says you can't be a good American, and we say, okay, let's shift the economic policy back to what's called the American system. That is based on physical production, not on speculation and just making money off of money. Then you have jobs building railroads, space, going back and building modern electricity and nuclear power and farms and agriculture. And you see, one of the key things to do that is we've got to reestablish the credit system the way the nation was originally set up. We were set up so there's no shortage of money, but you don't print a whole bunch of money to bail out bad debt and interest. You only print new credit to build physical infrastructure. That's the way the nation was found. That gives people jobs into the future, gives them the power to be sovereign, to develop their minds, and collectively as a population actually work to build the country. So if we reestablish that, then we can jumpstart the whole economy because the funds will actually build the physical production, electricity, high-speed trains, get our machine tools back. Let's get doctors and nurses. We should have the highest states of medical help the country's ever seen. We should have hydroelectric power, new agriculture. We got agronomy. We should have people excited about developing technology. And you see, that's the key of what LaRouche is focused on. For instance, let's build the North American Water and Power Alliance. This was developed by John Kennedy in the 1960s. This is the program to bring water all the way down from Alaska to the Plain States to Mexico, build about 100 hydroelectric power dams.
Right.
Mexico could build another 100. They could pay for it, but that's called progress. Then you got water, you got new farms, new cities, and let the water flow. But with the current policy and the people that are running the policy is not for economic development. It's to shrink the industrial base and put people deep in debt so they'll never be able to get out of it.
What do you feel about the suppression of new technologies? Like over in Holland, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos about magnetic generators that last for years upon years upon years, and it's free energy. Why do you think that they suppress all that technology that would give us free energy so we could get off the grid?
Well, one reason is here's an example. This is a magnetic levitating train. It has no wheels. This train was invented in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the 1970s. We couldn't build it in America for political reasons, because they don't want people to develop technology, because that means we'll have a larger population, and they want to shrink the population. This train was sold to Germany. This track was built in Germany to test it out, and the Germans tried to build it in Germany, and they couldn't build it for political reasons. The same people stopped it. So guess who built it? They finally built it in China, and now the Chinese built the first magnetic levitating train, and they're now the world's leading experts. They're building more trains than all the rest of the nations of the world put together.
Oh yeah.
So this is what we're trying to show people. If you go back, Kennedy, he launched the space program. He was going to build the whole Eotp project, North American Water and Power Alliance. He had it all set to go, and he got shot. Not by accident.
I wonder if him going back to a United States currency instead of reserve currency may have had something to do with that too.
That's exactly right. That's why if you put Glass-Steagall in, restore it, then we can get the next step. Let's get rid of the Federal Reserve and get a national bank.
And the Fed.
And have a credit system, not a British Empire monetary system. Credit system is anchored to physical production. You don't print credit unless you're going to build something physical that increases the ability to support people. That's why we need high-speed trains, go back into space, nuclear power, and all the things that we're talking about. This is we need farms, industry, not Wall Street. We need to have water. We need to have agriculture. One of the examples is what's happened to the agriculture. We've got big food shortages. They're not telling us. If you look at, like the price of a loaf of bread, $3 at the grocery store, the farmer gets 86 cents. And right now we got grain inventories the lowest in practically history, and we're facing more weather extremes.
Right.
So we're in big trouble. So this kind of thing brings us back to what is the key to America. We need skilled industrial workers. This is where the genius is. This is the government in the creative cognition of the human being, and the skilled workers are the intersection of ideas, science, culture, and the future all come together. And this is why we got to get a president that's impeachable. If he wasn't impeachable, we shouldn't impeach him.
Right.
But he has broken the Constitution. He should be impeached. The financial policy he supports is not constitutional, and the citizens should wake up and realize right now, in our country, 5 years ago we had 3 states that had youth unemployment of over 30%. Today we have 30 states, youth unemployment over 30%, and in 5 of them it's over 40, including California and Illinois. That's the future of your nation. The New York Times just ran an article that in the ages of 25 to 35, 27% are unemployed. That's the future of your nation. So if we don't solve that, we're building infrastructure. That's the only way you can do it. You build stuff. You've got to have a nation If you don't do that, you won't have a tax base, and you won't have the ability to develop the skill level of the citizens and the kids to take over and perpetuate this into the future. So that's sort of a summary of what we're out here in Woodstock trying to get people to think about.
Well, you heard it here first. This is Eotp, Eyes on Target Production, Street Side Interviews, and we're here and we're fighting the power. We thank you so much.
Thank you. Get America.
Yeah,